My
Evening.
Another installment, another version, another episode,
Bird
another
John.
drop of those casual reds featuring the greatest reds that America has to offer from
I
three
like that.
coasts. All right, from three coasts. And we're going to go ahead and pay the bills real quick. We're sponsored by Red Devil Threads, reddevilthreads.com. Use code Stateside Reds for 10% of your order. Subscribe for custom Man United gear to come to the house monthly. So what does that mean, Mike? What do you mean? Well, stop for a second. Put your beer down. Put your blunt down for a second. Go to reddevilthreads.com. Type it in. Look and see what they got. They got all kinds of good stuff. Got sweaters, hats, towels, trinkets, socks, lighters, all kinds of stuff. All glazer free, anti-glazer wear. You can wear, piss off the rival fans, piss off the man them on your block with fresh stuff. Shouts to Beto, shouts to Rajat. And you put in that reddevilthreads.com on top of it, it'll get you 10% off. You can get stuff sent monthly to your house. Or you could just do a one-off buy. Either way, support the Reds, support the show, and get something fly at the same time. Big thanks to Balorian, Manukian, Shakiri, LLP, a law firm in Southern California, the Encino area, by the way. Law firm dedicated to personal injury. So you slip and fall at work or something happens at work where you get injured or anything like that, personalized and special injury, you'll contact them at 747-444-4444. That's 747-444-4444 for my less melanated brothers. Shouts to everybody. Shouts to everybody at Gloria Manuki LLP. Big settlements there. Big wages being made there. Ike, Ani, Ashat, David, all them man there. Shouts. Who else? Who I'm missing?
Vahe.
Vahe, big Vahe. Ike, Ani, Ashat, Vahe, David, and a plethora of great staff, paralegals at your beck and call. Sushat, all of them. Big up yourself. Our first sponsor. And yeah, it's Casey, take it away.
Great job. And got to tell you, they love that part of the show. So respect to them. I got to go to their new offices for the first time. What a magnificent office. I was blown away. The first thing I said when I walked in there, like, wow, I want to work somewhere nice like this. Beautiful office. And they treated me like a celebrity. Well, it was crazy. Everybody was shaking my hand. You guys need to go to the offices to get the treatment that I did. They actually treated me like I was a celebrity. I was blushing. If a black man can blush, I was blushing. But anyway, this is another one of those casual red shows. My magnificent friend Mikey said and did a great introduction. Salute to Mikey. Mikey does so much behind the scenes. Everybody, we got to give him applause. Mikey is one of the guys that keeps it all together. Respect the man dearly.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy because you got to deal with ninjas like me. So I'm gonna just do a quick introduction and go around. I got my man Germ. What's going on, Germ? How you feeling today?
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm feeling kind of awkward with this weird LA weather over here. It got hot.
Yeah, it's raining. What's going
What's up
on?
with this weather, man? This is weird. But I just want to echo the sentiments you just mentioned. Shout out, salute to Mikey doing the Lord's work day in and day out, being consistent with the stateside Reds. I want to applaud y'all to Ronaldo yesterday. One of, I think, our most watched episodes on stateside Reds. Awesome, great show. Keep it up, guys. We want to keep on doing big things. So just right off the bat, if you're watching or if it's your first time watching, this is where you get all your stateside Reds content. Hit that subscribe and like button. Let's go.
And I've already introduced Mikey, but I'll do it again because we can never do enough Mikey. Is that pause?
I don't know. That's like, hey, you.
I just want to say rest in peace to Around the Horn that ended last week after
Oh,
23
really?
years. Yeah.
Wow.
True.
So a show that I grew up on watching
Yeah.
and got me into wanting to be a sports journalist for a little bit of time in my life. So I know if you don't know what that is, Google it. It was a great show. And rest in peace. They're taking a forever and a half hour break now.
Mhm.
I used to like the guy from Denver who always had a quote, like had a little saying
You
behind
see
it.
this right here?
On a
Yeah.
whiteboard,
That's why
right?
I
Yep.
have this right here for that. I just haven't written anything on it yet. But for
Yeah,
Woody,
that to me,
Woody Page.
Woody Page. I used to learn
Yeah.
so many smart, witty things from him. That was an excellent show.
Mm.
Kind of, I guess, like we're kind of trying to copy them in a way. But anyway, my guy Cheesy, Wagwan boss. What's new? You see Jamaica do things? Oh no, we actually lost to Ghana.
We lost that game.
Yeah, take that back.
I'm gonna need a voice note or something recorded from Mikey just announcing me entering. So like if I'm walking in the supermarket, I need to be able to play it. Be like, this
Yeah.
big cheese coming through. I need one like the way he do the Belorian milk. I need one of those from Big Mikey.
It's
I just need to play it when I'm entering places. So he's announcing me.
it's
Appreciate
highly
that.
professional.
Yeah, I need that. Other than that, enjoying the no Premier League stress, but at the same time, I miss it. I miss it dearly, but I'm enjoying a stress-free life right now.
Yeah,
Not letting transfer news get to
I
me either.
totally agree.
And I'm
with
enjoying
that.
our pull. I'm enjoying the pull that we still got. Big club things.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. That's a good segment.
Big
We're
up
gonna
the
talk
man
about
them.
that. Once again,
I want to talk about that. Sure.
We're gonna talk about that again. We're gonna talk because you guys did a great job last night, but we're gonna talk about it again. On the other side, the other co-host of the South got something to say. My guy Ronaldo, the thoughtful one, Mr. Calm, never upset, keeps his cool. How you doing, bro?
Hi
The
there.
politician.
Hi there. Normal. A little tired tonight, but the show must go on.
Must go on.
Chop it up with the boys.
And of course, representing the Southern California, Brian. I call him Brian the Bear Guy because he makes delicious ales and elixirs. He's the Bear Guy. What's up, B?
What's happening? How's everybody doing?
You doing good?
I'm feeling good. Bruno's staying, and I'm not mad at it.
Okay, well let's start it there.
Crazy.
Well, today we all woke up to the wonderful news. I'm actually delighted about it. I know it can be. It's kind of split the fan base in two, but I think there's a lot of people okay with Bruno staying. I know there's a lot of positives and negatives, but me personally, I thought it was something that just showed once again, as Mikey says, the draw of Manchester United because Bruno did have a lucrative offer somewhere else to go play, but he says he wants to stay he wants to stay and play big time football, and he wants to play for meaningful games, and he didn't need the money. I'm just paraphrasing here, but he was very appreciative for the offer. He talked to his family about it. His wife said, "It's your decision. We'll follow you wherever you want to go." And he said, "I want to stay and be a Red." So let's go with Jeremy. Jeremy, how did you feel about it when you heard the Bruno news this morning?
Hey man, I'm happy to have our captain still stay here with us. That means like we're all saying he still has that drive, that competitive drive. Because if you were to go to Saudi, you already know it was odd money, nothing to do with club competition, nothing of that matter. It's over here in Europe and Manchester, England is where you're going to get the more meaningful games. And just like when you win with United, it'll just mean more. And especially if he's still here as a captain, it'll cement maybe not him as a legend, but as an icon. But it could put him to legendary status with United if he stays here and helps bring this club back where it's supposed to be.
It's interesting you said that. I feel like it's taking him on a trajectory closer to legend because he showed commitment. He showed that the club meant something to him. And I know there's a lot of things where when he goes and plays Saudi, in some ways it can be a career killer for the club football, not the national team, because Cristiano obviously proves you can still play at your national team on a high level. But not too many guys go to Saudi and come back to club football. I just don't know. Too many people are getting away with that, and it's a rare thing. But Bruno saying that he wanted to stay, I thought it was great. Cheese. What did you thought when you woke up inside?
Happiness is what I felt when I woke up and saw that. That's for sure. There was happiness all around, despite this crappy LA weather that probably set off my migraine. Loyalty, the loyalty aspect, I love that. I love, I like for the world to see that. It's be like, yo, it's not about the money.
Each.
I'm doing something here. I'm working on something here. Like
I'm already on 300,000.
Word. I'm committed to this project. like cementing his legacy as captain. Like that's a captain move, right? So it's just like, yo, I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not going nowhere. Love it. That's great news. Great. On top of the early transfer news that we already have, and then Bruno staying, it's just like puzzle pieces interlocking.
Mikey, you want to read those comments for me, please? I'm sorry.
RSV. Shouts to RSV. That's my boy, hailing from Detroit. New viewer, new subscriber to the channel. Sancho's basically set up. He said, "Big up y'all," and he says, Sancho's basically set himself up for failure. He was supposedly a Chelsea fan growing up. We're going to get into that in a minute.
We're going to get into Sancho, too. There's a lot to get into tonight, and I'm glad that this panel's here because we're going to have different opinions, I think, on some things. Like, let's go to Mikey on the Bruno news. Mikey, how did you feel when you woke up to Bruno saying that he's going to be a Red till he's dead?
Like Ronaldo said when we were off screen, that it was 50-50. For me, I would take the money. I was all in for taking the money. That was a good bit of business to be had at 30 years old. That would have probably been that's some team's record signing, right? At 30 years old would be, for us to get 100 million or 120 million for a guy like that. So I'm with that. I'm with Bruno moving on and doing something else and probably set this family up for some generational wealth. On the other hand, I do like how he has come out and like stuck with us. And last night I was saying that I don't know about the Man United pull anymore, but that kind of solidified it a little bit right there with him making that statement out loud and saying, "Hey, I could have went and got 700 bags a week, but I'm gonna just go ahead and kick it here and try to make this thing work." So I'm just hoping that now, I think he's seeing like, yo, we got 2 fire 10s now, so maybe we could do something. I see that they're actually about to try to do something this time, so hopefully, he can make good and we can win something other than, FA Cup and the Carling, and he can finally move into that legendary status.
It's interesting when you talk about the Manchester United pool. It was so many pundits, ex-players, I don't know, experts were saying either the club should take the money and move Bruno on, or Bruno should leave and remove himself from this dying club. Or a lot of people like, I don't see Bruno coming back. That's too much good money. This is generational wealth is what I heard so much. And the fact, like you said, he wrote it out. He said he's going to be with the club, and it just shows his commitment. It shows his character, I think, more of anything, because money is an evil drug. A lot of us, it's hard for us to walk away from $1,000, much less 700 bags a week. That's crazy. But I salute him. B, your thoughts on when you woke up this morning and heard a captain was staying put?
I was ecstatic personally, and then once you heard they got some context and heard the reasoning, Amarim told him he didn't want him to go. We don't want to sell you, but if you want to go, we'll let you. It's kind of like that. If you left something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. So I think, we got the Cunha thing happening. I think, honestly, this is going to help with some transfers because Bruno's been here through the shit.
Yeah, he has.
And Bruno turned down, like you're saying, 700 G's a week to stay in the shit. We're trying to climb the ladder, but it shows his commitment. And if he's got the belief that Amarim's the guy, and that we're turning things around, I think with that, the Cunha signing, if Mbumo happens, hopefully I said it right.
You got
Good
it.
job.
I mean,
Oh,
people
trust
are
me,
going to
B.
start
They were.
going. They're setting it up. They're setting it up. They're coming together. You know what I mean? Just kind of like you watch any other sports team. They get this star, and then this star's like, well, shit, I want to play with that guy. So this guy comes, and then this guy comes. I think it kind of starts like a chain reaction, and just that I think we actually showed some character as a club, saying, hey, we don't want you to go, but we'll let you go if you want to go. And Bruno showed his character with saying, I want to stick with you guys. So for me, it was a lot of different levels of a good thing. I know the money could have been used, but we're not dying without it. So yeah, I'm over the moon with it personally. I love Bruno.
Let me get to some of these comments. I like Ronaldo says, shouts to Ronaldo. I like Bruno, respect what he's done, but if it was up to me, I'd sell because I don't think we get that kind of money in 2 or 3 years. I want Amram to build something new. That's where I was with it too. I'm not married to none of these dudes. I'm married to winning. Ronan, shouts to Ronan. Thanks for tuning in. Hope Saudi comes up with 100 M's for Sancho instead of Bruno. That would be the dream for all Manchester. Look, if I can get some chicken 65 and a pack of cigarettes for that dude, I'll be happy.
100%.
RSV. I personally wanted Bruno gone because he seems more of a liability than an asset. He
Whoa.
hinders the team's playing style. His transfer can help fund our rebuild. So, real quick before we get a little further, is that so there's essentially 3 camps of people, right?
Mhm.
There's the me and me and Ronaldo, where we're like, yo, we were okay with the money, but also, there's no skin off our back. We still gonna feel the same way about Bruno if he stay or if he goes. We understand. Then there's he's shit. He needs to go. He's not good enough. Crowd. And then there's the other side of it where it's like, no, we need him. Why would you can never give up a guy like that. He's our talisman. Or like, a little less than that. That was a little extreme. But there's shit like that. I think because he's the captain of the club, it also throws a little bit more of a wrench in it too. He's not just any player. He's not just Rashford or whatever. He is the captain that's been highly contentious. His captaincy has been highly contentious. We have a whole bunch of people that say, "Oh, he flails his arms. He's not a good captain." But he's constantly putting in the teens and goals and the teens and assists, constantly dragging the team through. So I don't know. Those are the schools of thought for me, at least.
Doesn't he play like the most minutes out of any of our starters pretty much every season and never gets hurt? Never gets hurt.
RSV real quick. Also, no players bigger than club. Look at PSG after they get rid of Mbappe. The only thing is they wanted to keep him. They were trying to keep him. They were trying to keep him bad. They wanted him really bad to stay, and he saw 200 million someplace else and went. At a place that everybody wants to play.
I think the two situations are different though with Mbappe and Bruno. They're totally different players. But I get where RSV might be coming from in that aspect.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to say. It's just that PSG wasn't trying to let go of Mbappe the way Man United were like, hey, if you want to go, we'll take the business.
Yeah.
But we'd also love for you to stay and play out your contract here.
For the people who say Bruno is shit and he hinders the team, Mikey, wouldn't you say that he had to do those things? When you watch our team play, there was nobody doing anything. Bruno had to put himself in a situation where he had to try to create the most chances. He had to try and cover as much ground. We had a lazy team that was played like cowards, that was mistake prone. I mean, Bruno was the one person who was like, I can't just sit there and ride this out. I gotta try and implement myself in every aspect of the team. And yeah, sometimes he failed. And it's like when you play wide receiver, you make a mistake because you're out there in the open, everybody sees it. Bruno was making himself. Oh, I won't say open, but he's implementing himself to everything, and it was easier to see his mistakes because he was the one person who was like, "I'm going to give it my all." And I know there was times Bruno messed up, made an incorrect pass, or
Yeah.
was wayward on the shots, but who else was doing anything? Who
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, that kind of goes to what RSV is saying here. It's like it's easy to say we'd be in the relegation zone without Bruno. See, I as much as I say that, I know there's like more to it than that. There's more nuance to it than that, right? The thing is with Bruno, when Bruno is good, we're more likely to win. When we's bad, we lose because we don't have the help we need. We don't have the players that can back him up. There's not a player on that team outside of Ahmad you could look at and be like, okay, this is who I can count on in the last few minutes of the game, or is going to get something. Towards the end, it started to be Casemiro. We need that from the beginning. Okay, so for everybody that's saying Bruno is this and that, go look at the stats. And I don't mean just a GA. Look at the stats for how much distance he covers,
Yeah.
for how much goals he sets up, how involved he is in plays, his heat zones, all of those things. They're all positive. Forget the goals and assists. There's times where he has to drop back and play deep and play defense and get penned in because there's nobody else. We're talking about Rasmus Højlund up top who's ineffective. We got a Garnacho that's moody. Ahmad was out for a lot of the year. They were losing games. The defense was shoddy. The midfield shoddy. Ugarte can't pass the ball forwards. He can only get the ball. Mason Mount doesn't play well or hardly plays. Like, there's so much stuff wrong with the team. So to look at Bruno and just be like, well, you're the reason why, when like Bruno come out of nowhere and score a goal for you, and that'd be the only goal we get if we get a goal. Well, Bruno has more goals than our striker. Come on now, he's a good player. Like, to not say that, he's a good player. We need to add to him, but he's in the latter stage of his career now, so we got to be that.
Ronaldo, how did you feel when you woke up beside the Bruno news? We never got to you. I'm so sorry.
It was like a relief. It was like another high, you know, after we woke up the other day, hearing that Mbumo chose us. So, you know, a little more Man United gratification, I guess. You know, we got the pull and everything. Of course, my mind went on, you know, the rebuild part of our journey right here. That, you know, Bruno would have brought in a lot of money and we could have flipped that and got some good players, what have you. But Bruno's a great player, and keeping him, I think we're better at keeping him. And everything he said this morning, you know, rang true. You know, it wasn't a surprise. The only thing that was a surprise, he said the club said we didn't need the money. That's bullshit. I was like, come on, don't company speak. Man.
I think it's true. I think it's true. I think it's true what they were trying to say. Like, we don't need the money from your sale.
Oh, because they think from the other sales they'll be able to make.
Like, we don't need the money we're gonna get from you leaving. We don't need it that way. I think that's what he was. That's what it. I'm not sure, but that's what it sounded like.
I agree with Mikey.
Yeah. And another thing too, a lot of people worried about him bringing us down. That's retarded, I think. And I believe that the 8 is like his natural progression. You know, we people criticize his chaos ball. You know, doesn't stick to his position. He floats everywhere. Now that we have 2 solid 10s on top, there's no need for Bruno to play the chaos ball anymore, is there? He can just hang back close to Ugarte, so you know he doesn't have to make a mistake with a long pass, and let Bruno ping it up to the guys up top. I think it works out, and it will give Menu a little more time to develop, to see, you know, if he's with the 8 stuff or not. You know, it'll give Bruno time to develop, and we have other windows. We have a January window coming up, and we have another summer window coming up, and depending on how we do, Ruben's going to be in charge, and he's going to bring more of his players, and we go from there. So, I mean, all in all, we're not worse off. I don't think we're worse off.
Facts.
Ronaldo says he don't trust the players around him. He felt as the captain, it was on him. Look for when he plays with Portugal with good players. He plays a lot better.
He's made with Portugal.
Yeah, because he has a connection with those guys. like, he knows their tendencies, and I just feel like he could do that with Man United. Beto, that was not my statement. That was a club statement. And Ronan, when we had Pogba, the team was crying out for a Casemiro. When we finally got Casemiro, we were desperately missing a Pogba. We never truly built a squad for Bruno to thrive. Yeah, agreed.
That's a great point.
Agreed. Because I remember those times we were like, man, what are we gonna get to unlock this player? We played Pogba deep. We played him off to the right at times, and I'm like, bro, he's a 10. He's a fucking 10. He needs to play as a 10. He's an attacking 10. Like, what are we doing? And we cried out for a CDM for years and never got one. And then when we finally got one, it was Casemiro at 30 years old.
My biggest fear about Bruno saying is I just hope he doesn't become a Steven Gerrard type of legend where he just doesn't win anything. He just has all the numbers and he does all the good things, but he just never wins anything. But
Steven Gerrard won a Champions League.
I take a Champions League. I take a Champions League.
I would rather you win the Champions League.
Yeah. I want to see Bruno hold the big cup. I'm tired of seeing him.
Let me ask y'all, would you rather win the Champions League every year for 3 years straight or win the league for 3 years straight?
Win the league for 3 years straight. Because at least we're in the Champions We're still in the Champions League. We're still in the Champions League.
Champions League.
It's the Champions League, though.
I think it's the Champions League. I think the Champions League because for all of Fergie's years that he won the Premier League, how many Champions League did he win? Only like one?
Two.
He lost two.
For that legendary career, for you 2 and 3.
He's 2 and 2.
Yeah, for you 2 and 3, back to back to back, that cements you as United. I mean, we're huge, but that cements you.
I think there are only 3 teams that three-peat in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, it was the Ajax, I think, in the 70s, and Real Madrid again in the 50s. Yeah.
What?
So
what the fuck am I hearing?
I know what you mean, man. The Prem is the Prem. You know, you want to win the league, but hey, Champions League, that's heavy.
3 in a row, bro.
Hey, I'll take the
So do we do that finishing the 15th in the league each year?
Okay, so you win the Champions. Well, you win the Champions League, but you finish 10th every year.
I'll take it.
Like you get it. The only,
shit, yeah. You
the
know
only thing that's keeping you in the Champions League is that you win the Champions League.
Right, that's what I mean. So we're How long are you down to finishing the league if you win 3 UCL?
No. Let's all take a deep breath and talk what Mikey said again. Y'all, you 5, or I'm gonna say 4. I don't know what Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy too. Said you rather win the Champions League 3 years in a row versus winning the Premier League 3 years in a row.
Y'all went and threw.
We did it already.
Y'all went and threw in 10th place at the end. That's not fair.
We did it already. We already won it 3 years in a row.
That's not fair. I ain't playing fair.
And you're running up some Champions League numbers.
3 times in my lifetime. Twice in my lifetime. My bad.
So what Liverpool did, y'all don't respect.
No,
that's not a bad word. That's a bad word. You well, I'm trying to compare it to somebody, but PSG won a lot. PSG won a lot, so I can't compare it to them.
I think the closest thing you compare it to like American sports, Casey, is like you win in the wild card every year and you win the chip, like in any sport. Like
when the Giants did it in 07 and 2011.
Exactly. It's like that. Like
I don't. There's nothing to compare to an American sports. There's nothing
Mikey,
to compare.
Correct me
to
if I'm wrong.
sports.
That championship feels sweeter than anything, even if you got the best record or the like. It's just,
to see an NFL team win the championship, it's up there. It's up there. It's up there. Especially when I watched the Giants do it twice against the best team in probably in the decade 2 times. Yeah, the undefeated Patriots. Yeah.
That's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm referring to. No matter where you finish in the league, when you win the biggest trophy in international competition, it's not no small feat.
And I feel that. But you can win the Premier League and go deep in the championship in the Champions League and have some good times. Yeah, you can lose the Champions League.
Beto, stop, man.
What does Beto say? What is he saying?
Stop, man.
Please tell me what he
The
said.
Spanish league is not much different than the Scottish league, Rangers, Celtics.
Oh, no, Beto, stop. Beto, stop.
Stop, bro. Stop. They wouldn't even say that, bro.
Did he say the Scottish league?
Come on, bro.
Yo.
I think he's just comparing
man.
that.
Beto, pass that.
Beto's our tie.
Pass
Beto's our
that,
tie.
Beto. Pass that.
Beto.
Yeah, Beto, that's crazy.
That's-
Wow. So. All right, that was y'all
oh,
caught me
man.
off right there. I think winning the Premier League is I put it up over, but I get it. Winning the
Would you
Champions League
rather that
is
win
lit.
that 3 times over winning the Champions League 3 times?
And the thing is, the more I think about it, and I hate that but it is hype to win the Champions League because you're beating teams from all over the world. So you just be like, hey, we beat Paris, we beat a German team, we beat all that.
Three-peat, Champions League three-peat.
Oh no! I feel y'all. I feel it. I feel it. Because it's better than he said. I beat PSG, yeah, but I just beat Wolverhampton. No, but we just beat Bayern Munich, yeah, but I just beat Tottenham.
I'm not
I,
shitting on the league. The league
I
is
know you're not. I
important.
know you're not. I know
It's
you're not.
important.
But
I would like to win all of it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like to win the Champions League twice and win the Premier League once and finish second twice and I don't know, mix it up. I don't know. That's what I'm going to. But anyway, that was good. Well, we all pretty much agree on the Bruno thing. You know, it's the money would have helped, yes, but the fact that Bruno showed that Manchester United means something to him, that means a lot to us and supporters. I know there's pundits, there's players, and all the ex people saying that it's crazy. They said the club should have just took the money and just forget what Bruno thought, which is crazy. That that could have happened that way too. I thought the club handled this well. They left it up to Bruno, which was something I don't know if the other powers the B would have done, but it's good to see Bruno's with us. It's good that he showed that. It's good for Amron that Bruno stayed with us because he's obviously believing in the Amron project too. So that's good for our head coach that Bruno says, "Nah, I'm gonna stick it out," because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We really don't know. What's these comments saying?
So I got RSV saying the amount of times we got robbed in the UCL and the Fergie still hurts. 2010, Rafael da Silva red card and Bayern in 2010. Scholes goal wrongly ruled offside for Porto. Yeah,
Boy,
tough
Champions League
breaks,
hurts, huh?
tough breaks, but that's what it is. It's so, especially
Dagger.
in those days when we didn't have VAR, right? There wasn't no VAR to look
Man.
at. Beto says I stand by what I said. He's still smoking.
That's that.
With all those
Beto.
tests,
That's
I
it.
think the league is more important. I don't know. I think the league is important.
Yeah.
I think it's important in its own right, but like the Champions League is the second greatest achievement in football outside of the World Cup.
There you go.
So, like, if you and this
It's hard to
this-
debate that.
how
I just said it's hard to debate
And
that.
and then, and
Okay.
another note on that too, Casey, winning the Champions League still cements you in world football as that Manchester United winning glory, winning trophies.
It's hard to debate what you guys just threw at me,
European
okay?
nights.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I'm saying?
because for all Real Madrid or Barcelona winning their league, but what they're known for is Champions Leagues.
I didn't hear Brian and Ronaldo. Brian, how do you feel about that question? What did you think? Would you take 3 Champions League over 3 Premier Leagues?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I want them all, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's like winning gold at nationals track meet versus winning gold at the Olympic.
That is a very good one.
In my
And
mind.
I like that. Yeah, because you can get silver in nationals and win the gold in Olympics.
But
Good
no
for
one's
you.
gonna remember the national one. Everyone's gonna remember that silver you got in the Olympics. No one's gonna give a shit about the gold you got at nationals.
look, the
All right.
people that's gonna remember the Nationals, those are the people that also were there, like that ran with you.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
the diehards and the fucking purists
Mhm.
that'll remember.
I don't mean
that.
no one's gonna give a shit, but like only track aficionados are
Right.
really gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a thing.
Well,
Right. But
You
like,
actually won me over with that because I ran track and field. So thank you, Brian.
Hey,
You had the best
Ronaldo
argument
says-
out.
I think the league is more important. Look at Liverpool; they have 6 Champions League, we have 3. Until these years, they won 20th league title, equal us. They are the biggest club. I don't
That's a
think
good
that's really
argument.
relevant to what we're talking about. We're talking about if we won 3 champions.
3 in a
What
row.
would you rather do as a person? Like, what would you rather have as a person? I get what you're trying to say. I don't know if they're the biggest because they also haven't won the Premier League, but 1 time, well, 2 times, and we've won it 13 times. We did it twice, 3 times in a row. We have, they never won the treble. Like, there's a lot of stuff we've done they've never done, and a lot of shit that City's done that both of us never done. So, like, are they the biggest? I don't know. That's up to what you feel. I feel like Real Madrid is the biggest of all time.
Yep.
That's just me. And you know why? Not because they win their league.
Yeah.
Champions League.
They win Europe.
That's Beto's argument about the La Liga is no difference than he should have never said.
No, but he's disrespecting La Liga as a whole when he's talking about just Real Madrid. Because it's like there's a lot of ballers and there's a lot of good teams in. We tend to do that as Premier League fans, as we disrespect other leagues a lot because they have a giant up there, but there's a lot of good teams. Matter of fact, let me just take 1 second and say, when we played Rangers this year, none of us were scared. But when we came up against the Spanish sides, we're like, oh man, you know how we do against Spanish sides.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we were all shook. Every time we played one, we were shook.
We were scared to play both Spanish sides we played, but we weren't scared to play fucking Rangers. Beat them too.
Mhm.
The only similarity between the Scottish League and La Liga is there's not a lot of parity. So
That's
I'll
most
give
leagues.
that's a lot. Exactly. So maybe if that's what Beto was trying to say, then I'll give him a little bit on that. But
We'll give him a little leeway.
That's
on
the
that
top 5, bro.
I'm not worried about playing Celtic. I'm not worried about playing Rangers.
Bayern wins the
I
German
get worried
League
about
every
playing
year,
Villarreal, and they ain't won shit in a minute.
and they beat us in a final.
They knock us out every damn time. Yeah,
Sevilla knocks us out. Like it doesn't. Yeah, we were crying against Real Sociedad and fucking Athletic Bilbao. We were crying to play them, but not against. But look,
100%.
Bayern wins it every year.
Yeah.
Either Real Madrid or Barcelona is going to win it every year, right? Now in our league, there's only been 6 teams to win it in the last 25 years outside of Leicester. It's been Chelsea.
Outside Leicester.
Chelsea, City,
Liverpool,
and then Leicester.
Yeah.
Those are the last 5 champions of the last 25 years. And one team won it 4 times in a row. Something that's never been done.
You know what that just tells me? Arsenal is shit. All right.
Arsenal is shit.
Arsenal won it in that 25 years. They won it
the invincible season.
Yeah.
By the way, Guna fans will not give up that invincible season for more titles. I asked them straight up. I was like, would you give up the invincible season to get like 2 or 3 titles? There's like, nope.
Hell no. That's all they got.
Because a lot of them got a tattoo in their bodies and they can't get that shit removed.
I asked him, I was like,
what was the record? It was like 26-12 or something like that.
I was asking him, like, would you rather, win the Champions League 3 times or in a row, or just have the Invincibles for the next 20 years like you have now? And they were saying the Invincibles.
Yeah. It's just a cool name, though.
Yeah. 26 wins, 12 draws, no losses.
Okay, so this takes us to the guy they call Sancho. Oh, my Lord. This has become our problem child again. Apparently, allegedly, all those words, Chelsea wanted to keep Sancho, but they wanted to keep him at a lower wage. He would actually have to take less than remove up to 200 grand a week. Sancho said, no, I want to keep my wages. Send me back to Manchester United Football Club, or I'm going to go back to Manchester United Football Club and find another club.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I got a question to the panel.
Yeah.
Would y'all be opposed to keeping him here underneath Amorim? Because we haven't seen him in Amorim's fucking system. So would
that's
you be
my number one question.
Okay.
Is there a way back for Sancho, and even if Amorim says I want to give him a chance?
Only if he says yes.
Brian, you're shaking your
Otherwise,
head really early. You got
otherwise,
to think
Tito
about this,
alone.
B.
Back that up.
Yeah, look.
Sancho's ego is gonna get him, and he's gonna fuck it up, and he's gonna piss
Well,
Amarim off, and then Amarim's gonna be like, "I knew I shouldn't have tried this." It's like
we
getting back with
don't,
your ex.
Brian.
Don't do it. Don't do
We
it.
But is
don't
that
know
what
that,
happened
Brian.
the first time? Is that what happened the first time?
No.
When he fell out of favor with his, because what happened was the manager lied to Sancho. The manager lied on him and said he wasn't working hard in practice.
You're
And
talking
he
about
said,
Ten Hag.
yeah, and he said
Yeah, no,
I was
that was
working hard in
dirty.
practice. And then what came out later? Ten Hag likes to single players out. He likes to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't like him here. Blah 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 blah. Whatever the case would be, Ten Hag gets eventually sacked. Sancho leaves. Not unlike the Chelsea, even though he didn't
Or
play
Dortmund,
well.
when we went back to Dortmund.
Yeah,
There we
or
go.
even though he didn't play well, went to 2 finals with both of them, scored in one of them, right? And then the only reason he's not coming back here, I mean, he's coming back is because of the money part. So that's why I asked you guys.
Mercenary.
It was 100%. But he wasn't anybody. It wasn't anything that he did on his own to make him leave. Like how Garnacho has done stuff on his own to make himself leave, right?
No, I agree with you. I just think he's gonna. I just don't think it's gonna work out. I mean, bring him back in if he can get his shit together, and he works good with Amarim. Maybe he'll work good with Amarim this time. I mean, if he adds to the club, then keep him.
Oh, Brian's okay.
Me,
But he's got Sancho's not Sancho's Sancho. He's gonna do the same shit he does. Just like not Garnacho. Garnacho got told. Garnacho got a long leash, and Garnacho's what 3-4 times we've gone down this road with him with Amarim. So
let me hold this one, Mikey.
No.
You're being unfair, and I can't believe you're making me defend Sancho right now, Brian. Because since he's left Eric Ten Hag, he's been a model. Well, every coach says he's been working hard. He trained hard. He gives a good effort. For Chelsea and Dortmund started him damn near every game.
They played him in a final.
His training must be up to. And I don't want to, Brian. I don't want to defend this motherfucker. But
no, I get you.
Gotta call a spade a spade.
But
freedom.
No.
What about freedom guy? Like it's just dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? If he does something like that, I mean Garnacho did that and he fell out. I'm all for bringing him back if he's gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna buy him.
only if Amarim.
If Amarim likes him, go on, Gaffer. Go ahead. I trust you.
Journey.
I don't think I would want him.
ahead,
And it's not even more so like his antics or whatever that would happen on with Ten Hag. For me, more so it would justifying his wages and the fact that Amarim, the type of profile of player that he wants. I don't think Sancho it fits that type of profile. He's not the most athletic guy. And here we are talking about Kobe Mainoo, like where is he going to fit? Because he's not a burner as well. So Sancho, I would see he kind of fits in that same mold. He's not a winger that's going to be burning people on the wings. Amarim, he wants that. He wants athletes, right? So
that's a good argument.
For me, that's why I'm like, I don't fit here. He might have a role as a as a club player, as a rotational player, but do you really want a rotational player paying him $300K a week? You don't want.
Sure, we're gonna have to pay that anyway, though.
That's what I'm gonna say. You have to. We're paying.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't want that, and I would just rather like. That's one of the worst contracts I could say. Yeah,
but Jeremy, no matter wherever he plays next year, we're paying that contract. So if Amarim gets him into summer, gets him into camp, and Amarim comes out to us and has the press conference to all of us, and he says, "I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. He's giving me a good effort. He's working hard. He's going to have give us quality depth."
I mean, if Amarim says that, I gotta respect Amarim and be like, all right, I'm trusting Amarim, and Amarim we trust. Go from
Here's my thing, and I don't care what happens to the guy, right? Like this is just us talking. Like if he plays, he doesn't.
Yeah,
play. I'm gonna read you guys' comments in a minute too, but because there's some good comments in here. But here's my thing: he's not an attacking winger in the sense that he's gonna, like how Jeremy said. I was gonna say that too, Jeremy. I thought that was an astute observation. He's not burning anybody, so why not let him play as a supplementary 10 from time to time, like an auxiliary 10 from time to time? Like he comes in for a Mason Mount, or deeper on into games where we're playing the Carabao Cup game or whatever the case may be. We have bodies, because for a long time we've been talking about how we don't have enough bodies. Here's a guy we've already signed and we've already been paying, that's already on the books, that hasn't been able to perform with this manager and this system yet. So I'm not completely opposed to it if he can show us, he can give us something close to what he was doing before. Because you know what motherfuckers was doing? You guys do this with Mason Mount. Mason Mount, every time you bring up Mason Mount, it's 3 years ago, he was Chelsea's player of the season.
Who's you guys?
4 years ago, he was Chelsea's player of the season. So,
Who's you
4
guys?
years ago, Sancho was a good player. So maybe I should goddamn give this guy a try and figure it out. But if we sell him, cool, it's just going to be a loss. It's just going to be a loss. That's all.
Big loss. Yeah.
This stuff sounds funny. You brought up Mason Mount. You're such a jerk, Mikey. And then you say,
It's the same argument aside from, well, Mason Mount forced his way out of Chelsea and pissed off his fan base on the way out. But like nothing about professionalism gets brought up. None of that. But like he pushed his way out of the club that he signed for and won a Champions League with. And then every time I bring up Chelsea, Mason Mount and how he plays, it's, well, 4 years ago, he was so good. And it's like, what the fuck does that have to do with today? So, like, Sancho is the same way. Sancho was good 5 years ago before we got him. He was great. We loved him. Let's give him I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching here, though.
No, you're hilarious right now. You're killing me. Okay, the comments, please.
Okay. Ronaldo, he's got to go. He's disrespected the club twice. Beto, hell no. At this point, I'll trade him for a new roof at Old Trafford. Ronaldo, if Amorim keeps him and we lose 2 or 3 of our first league games, 80% of the fans will sack Amorim. We bought him to rebuild us. I think that's too low of many games, but it will be bedlam if we lose that many games. ECH broke locker room protocol by publicly criticizing the player's effort. Someone like Sancho, who has well-documented mental health and confidence struggles, 100%. Managers usually keep these things internal to avoid escalation, 100%. Sancho's public retaliation was unprofessional. Players at top clubs are expected to take criticism internally, even when they feel it's unfair. Also fair and true. His reaction accusing the manager of lying and scapegoating was inflammatory and undermined team unity. What I will say to disagree is that when it came out later on, everybody was saying how Ten Hag was a fucking tyrant.
Yeah.
And they didn't like him. So
he
did it, and then he never apologized to Sancho. Sancho didn't apologize to him. How you do something to me and don't apologize, but I'm supposed to apologize to you? You won't fall on your sword. We both got to fall on our sword. I don't know. Maybe you're right there. That was part of the contract case. He had to play a certain number of minutes like Anthony. Okay, that's Beto. Still smoking. And you don't go to war with your manager via social media, even if you haven't earned the kind of credibility that justifies. Sancho had been underperforming and injury prone. I could agree.
Sounds like Garnacho.
I could agree with that. Yeah, Garnacho.
Sounds like a lot of guys.
Garnacho does it every other month and still gets to play.
Done it 3 times.
Still gets to play. Beto, I would prefer to keep Sancho over Rashford. I don't know. Rashford just caught a stray for no reason. He's a part of the
interesting.
He's a part of the old. Yeah, I would definitely keep Rashford 100%.
I'd keep Rashford over Sancho.
100%. I'll put Rashford in the 9.
Yeah.
I would let him play the 9.
Fast.
Yeah. Rashford's an athlete. He's a part of the old players, but Rashford, look at Garnacho when he made his debut. He was compromised. He's contaminated the bad behavior of the dressing room. Now we have youngsters and don't need him. Nobody's ever said that he was a dressing room issue. You guys are making that up. That's him. You got to stop doing that. I try to say that. Nobody's once said that he's a locker room issue.
Sancho?
Right?
Okay, everybody out there watching this, rewatching this, remember, the only person who had a problem with Sancho was Eric Ten Hag.
That's it. That's
true.
And then, so we can't create things and put more on his plate because
I think
Every
people love.
teammates loved him and spoke highly of him, especially when he left. There was everybody left comments like "gonna miss my bro" and all this type of stuff. Sancho's argument was about Eric Ten Hag, and let's all remember what he said. He said, "Other guys are messing up in games and they get to play all the time. I'm training. I don't understand why I'm not playing." And we all know he was talking about was Anthony. Anthony was going out there shitting up the field, and he got to start every game, every game.
And over
Sorry,
Ahmad.
sorry, Cheese. I know that's
Hey, he's
here.
the goat of Spain, man. I wanted it to work for the man. I wanted it to work out for him at United, man.
And we ought to focus what we were saying here and what Mikey and I were both saying. If Amron said there's a way back for Sancho, I already know because it's the old Reds club. What do they call them? The old Red,
The top Reds.
The top Reds. They're not having him back because they feel he disrespected the club. I don't think he disrespected the club more than he disrespected Eric Ten Hag. But I listen. I'm not a Sancho fan because I still remember. But we got to back our manager. We got to back our manager because he wanted to keep Bruno, so we backed him on that. We got to back our manager if he wants to keep Sancho. I'm not saying he will, but this is just a question we're throwing out there. What if it came out? How would everybody react? And it's definitely gonna split the. I think it's gonna be 80% saying get rid of him, then 20% say keep him.
I also think we could get rid of him. I just don't see the
Yeah,
amount
we
of
could.
money.
We could.
The amount of money is going to be a loss, and it's not going to look good for That's going to be one of the losses we have to eat. You know what I'm saying?
One more year.
Is crazy.
What do we owe him? 25 mil?
I don't know what we owe him. I just know
I think it's 25. I think I read it somewhere. It's 25 for this last year, isn't it?
I don't know what it is. I know he gets 300 a week.
Ooh, quick question. How much do you think we could get for Sancho? Realistic answers.
15 million.
Yeah.
Have you read my mind?
10, 20. Yeah.
And I was saying around 10 to 15.
No more than 20.
I don't see how we even get 20 because if they talk about Anthony's 40 and Anthony's actually balling, I don't understand why Anthony's price so cheap. Can anybody tell me why?
Because it's Anthony. That's right.
He's one of the best
It's
players.
Anthony and it's us.
That fidget spinner stigma is heavy.
Oh my God.
Another thing about stigma too. Sancho's got dirt on him from other clubs. I mean, they weren't happy with his behavior out the City Academy. They weren't happy with some of the things he was doing in Dortmund, and he was being late and whatever. And all the grief we give Ten Hag for shitting him all the time. Ten Hag gave him chances, gave him 3 months to get his head right.
Sure did.
And
He really did.
It boiled over. It boiled over.
Yeah, and Ten Hag was fed up, and he reacted the way he did, and that was the end of it.
What did these comments say?
I think Ten Hag favored Anthony and started him over Sancho, who was underperforming. Brother, he started him over Ahmad too.
Oh yeah.
So,
He shipped Ahmad to Sunderland, didn't he?
He came back, and he came back.
for Sunderland.
Oh,
And
okay.
I remember I had one friend who liked Sunderland. He kept on saying, "What are y'all doing?"
Let me look into the camera right now and say this. What's his name? Mark, the other Mark?
Barry?
Mark
Yeah.
Barry at one point in time said that Anthony should start over Ahmad.
Well,
Put it in the mic. Put it in the mic.
if you sat next to Mark,
Anthony should start over Ahmad.
Was Ahmad hurt?
No, he was like, oh well, the manager knows he's seeing him in practice, and I said, I'm seeing them on the pitch on Sundays and Saturdays.
That was some Ajax glazed glasses Ten Hag had.
I'll never let him. Bro, there's so many people that was like, yo, what's up with your boy? He's crazy. I'm like, listen.
yeah,
I don't know what they smoking out there in LA, man. I don't know what they.
If you sit next to Mark at the pub, you'd understand what's going on. You'd understand.
I love Mark.
Right there. And I'm right there next to him too, so I shouldn't talk shit.
Shouts to Mark, man. I'm just fucking with you. But you did say that. You did say that.
If I speak, I get in trouble.
Let me get through a couple of these. It is sad the modern era footballers care about money. How many? Okay. It is sad that modern era footballers care about money, how many followers they have on Instagram. Back then, football had warriors and proper leaders on the pitch because they were getting fucked. They weren't getting paid adequately for their services. So yeah, they had warriors because you'll be a warrior when all you have is football and plumbing on Monday when you wake up. Yeah,
this is a good. This goes to what we talked about off. This is what we talked about off camera. Now football, now guys. Okay, so Mikey and I were having a conversation, and I love Mikey, and he says that a lot of these guys are mercenaries today. They're only playing for the money.
What's wrong with that though? What's wrong with being a mercenary?
So no, you don't think anybody's playing football because they love the club they play for?
That's not what I
They
said.
were raised right. They probably are.
I'm sorry.
Those are two separate conversations, Casey. Because
reframe it. Go ahead, Mikey. Mikey, say it.
Go ahead,
You
Jeremy. Go ahead, Jeremy. Jeremy probably about to say what I'm gonna say.
You can love football and still play it, but you're gonna want to still earn top dollar. Not just because I love football, I'm gonna play for free on the cheap. Casey, you love playing football, tackle football. Don't tell me if they offered you 10 mil or 15 mil, you're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go with the highest played team that's gonna.
Well, of course.
That's not the same. That's not the same.
Not the same. But what I'm saying is like I love football. Just because I love football doesn't mean I'm gonna go play on the cheap. I'm gonna earn top dollar if this is gonna set my family and my future for the rest of my life for 5
It's a job.
It's a job.
I
gotta go strap on my
boots. And a short-lived job.
Exactly. I was going to say that next. You're playing for 10, maybe 15 years to set up the rest of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to walk later on. You're going to be on medicine later. You're going to be fucked up, double knee surgery, double hip, head, CTE, broken clavicle, all kinds of shit like that you're going to have to deal with at 50 and 60 years old.
Shout out to CTE.
You know, you're shorting your life. But this is what I was saying, Casey. I would say I just don't like this idea that we think these guys shouldn't do like RSV's whole thing. I love RSV. But this whole thing is bullshit to me. Only because football had proper warriors and leaders on the pitch. Leaders on the pitch, I still think we have leaders on the pitch. Is Bruno not a leader? Bruno just turned down 700 bags to come play for us. That's leadership. So, and you might not like
mercenary. Is he a mercenary?
He's definitely a mercenary because this is why I said the mercenary thing. Okay. I said when you come in, you want a certain amount of money to do the job. You want a certain amount of money. You're not coming in and saying, I'm just playing for the love of the badge, man. I just love Man United. I love the smell of it. I love the smell of Manchester in the morning. I just want to play, and I'll take $2 and play. You know, just give my money to the staff. Nobody's saying that. We all want to be paid for what we do. We all want to be paid. That's what it stops being a job. When you love something and you get paid for it, and it goes hand in hand, that's the best thing in the world. How many of us get paid for something that we want to do every day? Not a lot. You should want them. It's out to you.
Show off, Brian.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, B.
It's out to you. But it doesn't feel like a job, right? It doesn't feel like a job all the time.
Oh, it does. You gotta give up a little. You gotta give up a little of the magic. At least in my industry,
you get to drink beer every day. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I could have a couple, but yeah. He ain't paying me to get drunk.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, these guys they sign on for something. They want to get paid a certain amount, and this certain amount is $250,000, $300,000 a week. We ain't talking about some beer passes. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't even think social media ruined it. I think it's these agent fees that's ruined football. Actually, the agents play too many roles in contracts and what guys' decisions make on what teams are going to play for.
Is football ruined? Is football ruined? Because you motherfuckers are watching it every week.
The game's
ruined?
It's not ruined, but it's tainted. Is it
we're
weird
talking about football and ain't no football on right now, and we talking about it, but it's ruined.
The game is pure. The game is still pure.
Well, the thing
it's
about
the business side. It's the business side.
The six of us and the people commenting, we're not mercenaries. You know why? Because we're gonna still support this club, even if they get relegated, if they win the Premier League, if they win the Champions League, if they finish 15th. We're gonna be there. Yeah, it's not ruined for us because we.
Who's it ruined for then?
For
It's not really.
the Paul Scholes and the ex players and the Kinos, they seem to hate it.
The
They
boomers.
watch every week, and they always have something to
The
say.
boomers don't like this shit.
I think it's just that once you get to a certain age where it's like that get off my lawn guy. Because don't tell me
Yeah.
that these guys playing right. But you can't tell me that these guys at this day and age they would not be doing the same thing, trying to get the top wages. And yeah, back then there was no Instagram or like TikTok, but they would be on that thing too. Everyone knows that that's just the way they grew up now with their phones. It's they reporters talk about it in basketball. As soon as the game's over, what do? Go on the gram or go see how their stats are. These guys are no different.
Also, they were getting so exploited back in the day playing football.
They were.
The Instagram stuff has helped you to build your own brand. So that way the NBA isn't the only way you're fucking making money now. Now there's idiots that do the wrong thing on Instagram. So what you'll see, because the human mind is wired like that, we'll see a couple of negative things and think that's the whole piece, that's the whole pie, when it's only a slice of it. Most of these guys do nothing and they just use that shit the right way to make money. Right?
Yeah.
You see Sancho and you think it's everything. It's not that. So like I don't fuck with that. Back in the day, there was warriors and brother. None of us would survive a Leicester Youth Academy. So don't tell me about no warriors.
Yeah.
Most of us wouldn't even survive. We wouldn't survive Ipswich Youth Academy.
It's like that in every sport, though. Back in the day, they didn't have the representation. Their unions weren't strong. There wasn't.
Back in the day, they didn't let black people play. Great time.
Well, that's a back in the day.
There's that too.
You're right. You took it. Yeah, you're right. But
back in the day, we all talk about back in the day. Back in the day, oh my God! Back in the day, they didn't wear helmets.
Everyone always romanticizes the past. Is the problem? Yeah. That's just what we do as humans.
Everybody's last days were was the best. That was the best. That was the best. What y'all doing now sucks.
It was though. They don't hit like they used to back when I played. We used to kill niggas. We used to be like, yeah, you dead out here. Come get your son. Come get your son. He dead. I'm just joking. I'm joking. That's terrible. I want to talk about we didn't even get to talk about Mbuemo and his news.
Mbuemo.
It's Mbuemo.
Boom boom.
You know, one thing when Brian said that, did I say it wrong? And everybody's like, "You're good." I was going to say, Brian, this panel will correct you ASAP. That's one thing I've learned. I'm gonna start saying my taxes on here, so they go like, "No, you did that wrong. You did that wrong right there. You did it all wrong." Because this panel gets you together, and that's what I love. I need to start getting dating advice from you. No, because all y'all in relationships. Why would I talk to people in relationships?
That's why you need dating advice from us. We achieved the highest thing to achieve.
Yeah, we're in the big time.
You wouldn't take it from a single man.
New Friday night show we got coming.
Yeah, we need to do a Friday night show. I want to do a Friday night show called
No Single Red.
No Single Reds, right? No single. Okay, so Brentford came out and said that for our Mbuemo.
Is Bumo.
The guy on
I used to say it that way too.
Mark Gutierrez call it Mbumo. I was like, you better not let Mikey hear you say that shit.
I heard Brian Mbumo say his name is Brian Mbumo, so his name
Mbumo?
is Brian
Okay,
Mbumo.
that's Mbumo. I like that. Mbumo. We're gonna have a song too.
I'm saying boom boom.
No, not boom boom. Well, anyway, Brentford said that they would like to have a price close to what we're going to pay Cunha. Is that fair, or is that just the starting? That's just the starting argument.
That's fair.
I think it's fair. He had more goals.
He has 5 more goals than Cunha.
Tom Neal, what's up, man? Good morning.
Yeah, where are you coming from in the morning? Where is it? What can he be?
They're probably in India or
I don't want to say.
China,
I want to say India because it's morning time there.
Asia. Yeah, they're
Okay.
12, 15 hours ahead of us. Yeah.
Salute. You know,
Shouts to you, brother. Shouts to you.
we got to
Thanks
start
for
giving
playing.
out badges and stuff and giving
Hell
out
yeah.
memberships.
I want to have a lot of these guys like the Ronaldos and RSVs and stuff like that on the show. So like,
You know what we need to do? Give
have
out
like a fan show.
monthly monthly subscription to Red Devil Threads. We should
Oh,
take
okay.
we should do that for
Yeah.
somebody who
Oh,
gets
we give away
like
some Red Devil Thread stuff.
we should
Viewer
give
of the
away some
month.
Red Devil. Let's do that. We can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Between all of us who have subscriptions.
Yep.
And we'll talk to them and say, like, we get their sizes, whoever it is, we'll give them a t-shirt a month. We can give out a t-shirt a month.
For sure.
We're gonna now you know what? We're doing things on this channel. I love it. Stateside Reds. Check us out.
Give it out to
Anyway,
the top comment of the day of the show.
I tell you, RSV or
That'd be
RSV.
cool.
RSV has the top comment so far because he pissed me off.
Yeah, you keep it up, RSV. We like that.
Nah,
We
that's
like
good.
to
That's
be
good
pissed off.
conversation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, good news. We talked about Manchester United draw. I actually heard a Newcastle fan actually cry on TalkSport today. Actually cry
I
tears.
saw that.
I don't know if it was real tears. I didn't see his face, but his emotion, his delivery, it sounded like he was crying. Did anybody hear that on TalkSport today?
I
He
saw
could
it.
not believe that his club got overlooked by a top player or a player that they wanted, and the player said he wants to come to Manchester United Football Club. I heard Mikey and Ronaldo talk about the draw of our club. That's something we talk about a lot. And some people say it's died out. It's not as big as we think it is, but
We got that
Just-
gravitational pull still. We got that
made
mass.
me feel so much
We got
better
that mass.
because this player came out, says, I want to play for the Manchester United Football Club. And that just made me feel better because we didn't even bring up Arsenal. Arsenal fans are acting like it didn't happen, which I love. Tottenham fans, who cares what Tottenham fans? You know, Tottenham fans got nerve. The way they're acting, and I don't want to get off topic. I
They
know
get
two
to talk.
Tottenham-
They get to talk right now.
Yeah, but they're going too far, Mikey. They're going too far.
They beat us
They-
4
they-
times.
Wouldn't you?
4-4-4-4. They beat
In
us
London
4
town.
We were
is
saying
what
all the diabolical stuff we was gonna do if we won a title this year. We were saying like, "Yo, don't let us win nothing this year because we coming for everybody." They doing what we wanted to do. It just hurts because it's them and not us.
All right, fair play. I was going to say, but they're still 17 or 16.
We're 15, marginally better.
When
Champions
the
League.
Premier League starts next year, they're going to have problems because you know why? Who have they signed?
I haven't looked.
Nobody wants to go to Tottenham.
Have they even
Mikey.
decided to keep the coach?
Mikey,
That's
let
the
me
next
help
thing.
you with that. Let me help you about why you haven't looked. Can I tell you something? Ain't nobody. We're other than Liverpool. Well, City's doing the madness quietly too. I don't know why no one's talking about that.
Yep, City.
They're doing the madness
We talked about it
quietly.
yesterday.
They're doing a madness, gentlemen. I'm letting y'all know right now. City's changed the whole. They're not big wages. They get a whole bunch of young talent.
City is quietly rebuilding, and before you know it, they're gonna have like just a whole new team, young team.
Yep.
They're gonna have a better Chelsea team. That's what they're gonna have. But anyway,
Good God.
so our draw is still doing pretty well. Manchester United can still get players. I don't know if it's the Ruben Amorim effect, or the Manchester United effect. I know Cunha came out and said this is the club his grandfather loved, and he's doing this for his grandfather. That kind of made me feel a little bit better. That was actually beautiful.
I respect that.
I respect that. So,
Take
how do you
40
feel
million.
about Mbumo? Did that make your day better after Bruno? I mean, I know it happened before Bruno, but it was kind of like within the same 6-hour time frame. What do you guys think about that? And the price tag. Is it something you think it's worth it? So I think I heard someone say the 60s worth it. I think we could talk them down to about 57, 56. I don't know. Is it euros or pounds we're talking either? I'm not too sure either.
I'm not
You guys
sure.
are smarter than me.
I
ain't
think
sure.
it is pound sterling. But I was happy with it. I like him as a player. He wasn't my first choice. I will say I didn't like off the
Yeah.
bat think, but being where we are, and then he has been able to score a decent amount of goals. I just worry that once again, just with all these players, I worry that like the red shirt has a way of stopping guys from being the best that they could be and bringing them back down to life, right? So hopefully he could play out of that, right? How much of it is you and Wissa are just so good together playing as opposed to like now you're coming here, you don't have Wissa no more. How much of it is that? Because they were very good last season. So shouts to him. Thank you for putting that out there first. And like, I wish more of these guys would do this, bro. I wish more of these guys would come out and just say like, this is where I want to go from here. And then it's not a whole fucking. But I get it. That's how they make their money.
So let me ask you this, and I know I'm sorry, Jeremy. I see you,
No,
Jeremy.
it's okay. Okay.
Now, when someone comes out early and says, "I want to play for this club," does that make them not a mercenary?
Are you asking me or Jeremy?
You.
Okay, so when you come out and say, what's the second thing you say? What do I say? I say, well, how much is it going to take for you? You say,
well,
70 million. And I say, well, we got 45 million possibly. I'm listening to offers from everybody else now. Oh, I thought you wanted to really play here. We only got 45 for you.
we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I don't think being a mercenary is a bad thing, though. That's the thing, because we all need to get paid and we need to get paid right now for the rest of our lives. But like, there's just this idea that people aren't doing that, and we all are.
Okay.
There's no such thing as what is it? Home discounts.
Free lunch.
Yeah, free lunch. What I want to say is just it felt really nice breaking that news or just breaking that down to my brother-in-law as I was working out because he wasn't as aware. He's a Newcastle fan.
Wow.
The one that I told you guys, and the reason why he's a Newcastle fan is because in high school there was a foreign exchange student and he was from England and he happened to be a Newcastle fan.
I respect that.
He got him into Newcastle, and ever since then, he's just been a Newcastle fan. And
I respect that.
Hold that, cousin. Hold that.
Yeah.
So when we were lifting, I told him, he's like, "Oh yeah, and Bomo's gonna come to Newcastle." I was like, "No, he's not." He said he wants to go to United. His face, that's a priceless face. He just looked at me.
Yeah, good for you,
and
Jeremy.
Disappointed. He was just like, "What?" And I was just like, "Yep." He wants to come to big.
Is he the one that called in and cried?
I was with him. I saw him face to face. I was like, all right. I'm excited for him to come, man, because this is a player that I feel like, he might not be like Mikey said, the number one guy, but I think he's gonna fit this.
The fuck are you doing?
He's gonna fit this system. He's athletic. He's direct. And as I was reading The Athletic, they did mention, I know there's a big pause moment that because of his massive backside, he's gonna be able to get that separation. So what
Which
is that?
Is crazy.
That Amarim, again, that's the biggest theme. He wants athletes. He wants guys that are going to be able to be physical, get separation, be direct, and just are going to be able to score and have an eye for attack, man.
You know what I love about him? And I mean, we'll go to Cheese and everybody. His defensive work rate is crazy. We need people who are going to get back on D and care about defense because, man, our attackers ain't always been like that. Okay, sorry.
Get back on D?
What's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Can't watch a game with you, my boss.
Honestly,
can't watch a game with you.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm sorry, Chief. This panel messes my life up because I walk around in the day and I go to the mailman. I was like, did you I say something to the mailman. I was like, was that a pause? And he'd be like, what are you talking about? No, I'm shook. I'm
shook mailman got a hand that looks like a heavy sack.
Yeah. Can you deliver my package? Can you hold my package? And then I look at the mailman. I pause and be like, I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. He's like, please don't do that to me again.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Cheese. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. Allow me to play devil's advocate real quick. But before devil's advocate, just remember that I wanted to get this guy when we were going to get relegated. I was like,
you did.
We should get him. I was on board from a long time. So I'm glad Mikey jumped on board. That's great.
Yeah. Nope.
How about my boy Bumo. And Bumo literally sat down for someone and said, yo, work smarter, not harder. I can do exactly what I do at Brentford and triple my wages. I want to play for United.
Merc.
Like he was just like, they get fleeced every year. Let me jump in on that. Like, hey, I think you guys need me. I want to be here.
Yeah.
I think it's respectable when people want to take on the challenge of Manchester United Football Club. No, we don't know how they're going to perform, but the fact that someone says, because you know what, guys in the
So
Premier
many
League
run
play
from the challenge. So many people run. I was like, I'm gonna go play over here. Let me go do the guaranteed thing because they got Champions League and they got this, and let me just go do that. And I'm guaranteed to start. Let me go do that. They run from the challenge, so I do respect that.
People in the Premier League know when they play Manchester United, other players, they know what their coaches or their fan base says. Hey, beat United. That's all we want you to do is beat United, beat Manchester United. And that's heavyweight. And when they beat us and they see how their social media might grow an extra 10,000 people because they beat us, that tells you the power of the club because that happens. You know, when guys beat us, they're doing more interviews. They might get a new endorsement, shit like that. That shows the power of Manchester United. Okay, sorry. Ronaldo, how you feel about when the man said this is the club for him?
I mean, it's like a throwback, right? When last we heard that, you know.
I don't remember the last time we heard that.
Yeah. You got a guy who scored 20 Premier League goals. My bad, yeah, for real. Lenny chose us too.
Lenny did?
Before that, you know. Yeah, he did. I mean, you could call him a merc too. Paying that good money, but let's see how long he stays with us. I hope he doesn't leave. So hopefully he stays with us. But yeah, it's good. It's good news. It's good reinforcement, especially after the disaster of a season, coming up with nothing, losing the Spurs 4 times, and missing out on Champions League. So for a guy who put in 20 Premier League goals to come and say, you know what, I want to run with you guys next year. That's good. There's no other way to feel but good.
Young dude, too. Younger dude, like 25.
Yep, 25.
Yeah, good age. Good age.
I actually watched an interview with Lenny Ure on Rising Ballers today, and he says, I'm here to win big titles and cups with Manchester United. He said, I fell in love with the club. He said, my family fell in love with the club. And everybody said, he basically said his family told him, you need to win something here. So Lenny Ure is going to be with us for a while.
Nice.
And,
We'll see once we get
and
to
one more thing. And one
I love Mikey so much.
Why you guys just fall in love with these fucking guys? Like they talking shit.
You fall out of love.
Just let me be romantic.
Let me just say this: if your employer, right, had access to see everything you go say all the time, you would talk nice too.
Mm-hmm.
You say, man, you know what? I love my boss over there at the beer company, man. You know what? They take care of me, and I'm gonna be here for many years. You wouldn't call him a bitch?
No, but no.
I haven't done that. I haven't done that yet. No.
My CEO is my Instagram friend, and he thinks I'm loose. So
you wouldn't call his mother a whore.
Mikey, who does that?
I'm just saying.
How about this? I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go on there and be like, my job's shit and I hate everybody I work with. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
Hey,
how you feel about Pelori Maluki and LLP, man? How you feel about them? I fucking hate them.
No, I love them. They know that's a lie. They know that's a lie.
You would never say that. So of course they're saying the right things. I want to see what you're gonna say when you're up in that fourth, because you're with us for 4 more years. In that 3rd year of that contract, what are you saying then to the rest of those people that's coming in?
It was time to re-sign that contract?
Yeah. When it's time for that new deal, what are you saying then?
Yep.
You gotta
especially if we don't win anything.
Company guy,
right.
Man. Hey, but one thing
if we don't win anything.
One thing to say about Buemo, we haven't talking about this. We're getting guys that are not just Premier League proven, but are plug in and play guys. They're not projects. These are both guys that are 25. They're just ready to plug in and just get them and play. That's it.
Yeah.
Facts.
They're ready to start. They're ready to carry the line. And I think we have so much uncertainty with our team. Like without these two guys, we're looking at Mount again. No disrespect to Mason Mount. Uh, I mean, you can't you can't afford to let Garnacho go. Things like that. You know what I'm saying? And one thing Amber says he wants his 10 to be are guys who can carry the ball and progress the ball. And you know who doesn't do that well? Bruno does not do that well. Bruno is not a good ball carrier. So Bruno actually doesn't even fit their number 10 like the way Amber does.
Bruno's not a good carrier of the ball.
In that part of it,
He's
Bruno,
a good passer, but
he
not
doesn't carry the ball
he's
well.
a better passer than a carrier. I'll call that. He doesn't dribble past anyone like really well.
Yeah, when is the last time you seen Bruno dribble past somebody, Mikey?
A lot of times. Should I pull up a compilation for you?
Oh,
Please
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll send you a compilation of him beating guys. Pause.
Bruno?
Yes, Bruno will skip past you. Yes, he will. He's not beating you in a fast-paced 1v1, but he's manipulates the midfield and gets past you and will play a ball forward.
No, but the 10, you have small plays. You have to be quick in that small space. Bruno, I see Bruno get the ball in space, go wide, and then he looks to pass it.
Stay.
I just want to know what like. So you say he doesn't skip past guys. I've seen him do it several. I've seen him do it all the time. I've seen him play the ball, go one way, dummy, and come back, and then have a guy out of sorts, get him out of the plane, go forward, and pass the ball. He does it all the time. It's like one of his signature moves. So I guess what you're saying is he doesn't.
I think. Go ahead.
I'm trying to understand what you mean, like, because. What do you mean?
I just don't feel. I feel Bruno's okay. Well, Bruno's good with the ball, but he's not rapid with the ball.
He's not fast. Yes, no. He's not fast, but you're saying fast.
But these two guys are better with the ball with Bruno.
Yeah. Okay, understood.
Okay, I'm
fastly,
sorry.
Yes, fast.
See?
Rapidly, yes.
I just threw a kiss at Mikey. That's beautiful.
Ew.
Who said ew? Comments.
Ronaldo, real quick. We need experienced left back like Theo Hernandez who wants to leave Milan.
I keep hearing that name.
He said it yesterday. Plays same system. He scored 5 goals. We need a GA everywhere, so we're unpredictable. I agree, but he's later. I think what is he like 27, 28, and he's also like big money. He's not gonna be cheap. I've been wanting for like 3 or 4 years now to come to the club, but
yeah.
It's just, that's big money. That'll be a big money signing that we probably can.
Yeah,
we're
not gonna be able to do big money signings this summer. I just think time's too short, and we gotta. Let's go. Let's jump. Anybody else want to talk about Mbumo?
Sign him up.
Yeah.
Sign him up.
I'll get real excited when it's a let's go. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, the ink's dry.
I have a question for you, and Casey. I don't know if you're going to direct the conversation that way. Being that these guys are going to be like the potential starting 10s with Mbongo and Cunha, what type of profile of number 9 would best fit?
Oh, I love you, Jeremy. You read my mind.
That's a great question too.
That's a great question, Jeremy.
What number 9 for y'all?
I'm concerned about the number 9. I don't know if and nothing. We need to sell a couple guys before we can certify our number 9 position. That's what in my mind, the reality of it all. We need to get rid of. We got to make sure we're going to have landing position. This is my personal opinion for Rashford, Garnacho. I feel like Sancho's a little sticky right now because. Oh God! Pause. But
Malacia.
But those 3, I think we definitely have to have guaranteed destinations for them before we solve our number 9 position. We're hearing new names like Giancarlo Ramos. I used to like him before. I don't think he was terrible at PSG, but he was coming off the bench for PSG. I don't know if that helps us.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a system thing. I think.
it's a system thing, you think?
Yeah, the same reason they let Ugarte go. He's not the best dribbler. You know, he's like the ultimate gunman in the box, pretty much. You know, just get open, get the ball, shoot, and score, which he does well. But Enrique wants a more complete baller than that.
So do you think he fits us?
Um,
Or are you
I think
like
without two
me?
tens,
Just get
without
somebody
two
other
tens,
than
we wouldn't have to
Rasmus.
ask him to do much. You know, we wouldn't have to ask him to do much in the box. Just shoot the ball on target, get it in the net. You know, but if we have guys like Jokeres and Osimhen who are more
I
complete
don't think of.
strikers, and I think they want to come, is just at the right price. You know, we gotta go top. We gotta go top. How long are we gonna stay at the bottom? You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo.
Jeremy, to answer your question, this is what I always say. He's better than Rasmus.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like what type of
Who is
profile
it?
of number 9 would you guys say like would go good with these two tens?
I know there's an age range that I'm just gonna finish it. There's an age range that our leadership wants, but I wouldn't be opposed to Giancarlo Ramos or what's his name? Mitrovic? What's his name?
Oh
Mitrovic?
Just
God.
That's
I
not.
know, Mikey, but look at our options right now. I like that Arsenal is not nobody's on Bucharest right now. I don't know why that's going on like that. He's kind of like
I think
waiting in
don't
limbo.
tell nobody. Don't
They're
tell
gonna get either
nobody.
Sesko or him. So that's really what it is. But for
Okay,
me to
so
answer your
go ahead.
question, Jeremy,
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I feel like the profile players we need like a quick could break the lines,
Okay.
play the ball at his feet, kind of not necessarily a target man, but like somebody that can get past quickly because they're gonna be up and down. Like Cunha
That's
and they're gonna be up and down the pitch like fuck. Like it's gonna be a horse race the entire time. We might see a lot of basketball games with them too. So we're gonna need a striker that can get up and get in transition quick, right? But necessarily that's also strong in the challenge and just clinical. I think every team needs that clinical. That's
critical
not
is
saying anything, but fast, pacey, and strong. Right? I would love to have Ivan Toney.
yeah, you just described Jonathan David.
I'd love that. I would love if we could somehow get Ivan Toney. I know it's not gonna happen, but Ivan Toney would fit.
Tony would be good.
Yeah, I would like Ivan Tony too.
It would
Yeah.
fit.
But he's eating good. He's
He's also
he's
older.
playing.
Yeah.
So you don't
Yeah, he's
necessarily have to
great.
get a 9 that's gonna hold up the line, hold up the get deep and
I think you got. I
let
think
things go
just
forward.
But
every game is gonna call for something different, 100%. But hold up play is a prerequisite to playing that 9 now, especially with how isolated you are up top in our 3-5-2 or what is it 3-4-3, whatever the fuck we're playing. When you're that isolated, you got to be able to hold it up to get the tens in position and your wing backs going forward. So if we're not doing that, especially in transition, if you can't do that, like Hoyland can't do it. Hoyland just can't do it. He can't. He doesn't know how to hold the ball. He doesn't know how to receive it. He can't play it forward in like intelligently at times. So like, yeah, we need that kind of style of profile player. I would
I
take a
agree with
get
that.
the ball at your feet kind of target man that could turn and beat somebody with maybe pure pace or strength. But like I want a quick striker, somebody that's quick that can get in behind the line and get a
Yeah.
ball from like Onana from deep over the top. Or any goalkeeper. It don't have to be Onana.
It's funny when you say certain names, you just be like, I forgot he's on our team.
Yep.
I was like,
Yeah,
So,
that's a great question, Jer. Um,
So y'all are describing like if it's elite, that's an awesome man for me. Then
well,
if you're
it doesn't
telling me all
have
this
to be
stuff, then
elite.
Mike.
I swear to on everything I love, I'd say this. Well, he ain't no worse than Rasmus. Because Rasmus has been so poor.
I feel
Rasmus has
you
been
on that.
so poor. We just need someone who can put pressure on the defense, and Rasmus doesn't even do that.
we're spending all this money on Mbumo and Cunha. We can't waste it with having a ghost of a 9 up there.
Yeah.
You can't start Rasmus with those two. It's gonna be stupid.
I mean, I mean, we're hearing about teams that are into Rasmus, but I'd be like, that's incredible. The names
Inter,
that
but I
I
don't know if
hear,
that's true.
Inter are in for him
Yeah.
or interested.
I heard a crazy team.
By all
I
means,
heard a
take him off
crazy
my
team,
hands.
but I thought it was clickbait. Heard some team that was crazy. I was like, no, they are not in for him. But I'm not going to say what it was. I don't remember now. But anyway, I don't know. That's a tough question because we all know we need goals, and goals cost money. Goals don't come cheap. That's one thing goals don't do. They don't come cheap. So Mikey described it perfectly. But who is that player
Yeah.
in the world? I mean, Ronaldo. How do you feel about Giancarlo Ramos? Would you take him? I mean, I don't know what you
Uh,
said, but would you?
like 3 years ago, I'll be, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying not to let Enrique's preferences kind of, discourage me from it. But if we can't get Osimhen or Gyökeres, we could do worse than Ramos for sure. I mean, that's not like glue and rain endorsement, but I think he's a good bagsman, and I think it could work out.
Man, I think you hit it on the head right there. I don't want nobody else from PSG because listen, the way they play now, they got rid of the guys. They gave us Ugarte because they knew that midfield that they have now was it. That's an engine. That's a midfield. You don't need a Ugarte could not survive in that midfield.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
They got the young kid João Neves, man. He's gonna be balling for like 20 more years.
That's a good team. I knew they would win too. I just didn't see 5-0.
Oh no, nobody saw that.
No.
Calcio getting waxed 5-0. Nobody saw that.
The striking situation is going to be a tough one for new management to figure out, and I don't envy them, but they're going to have to earn their money on this one because you cannot go into the season with Rasmus and Obi. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Nah.
And I mean, we joke about it, but oh God, this is going to sound crazy, but no, I'm not going to say it. It's a tough one, Jeremy. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because you're hearing these crazy names and options, and you're like, what bothers me is we were so confident about, and I mean our leadership about Delap that I don't think they had a plan B. I thought Delap was probably the plan B, but I guess we didn't have a plan C. And Delap, he came out and said there's no way he wanted to come. So what do you do now? Because we have to get a striker. Especially if they're planning, if teams are trying to, maybe if a team buys Rasmus, then we have more money with the sales of Rasmus, Rashford, Garnacho, and Malacia. But then you can't go into the season with one striker and Obi. That's just not going to work.
Nope. You got a vet in here for sure.
I mean, as good as everything is going for us right now, when we look at all our moves right now, thinking about the striker situation.
Well, Beto said Boniface from Leverkusen, Garassi from Dortmund, he's Mitrovic, Vlahovic.
I used to like Vlahovic a lot. Juventus, I used to like him a lot. Pause.
I would go. I don't know any of these guys, to be honest. I think they're all in the same kind of boat. As far as tier wise, we got to do something though. To be honest, we have to do something.
Is it something, Mikey, where you'd be like, just get me two bodies other than Rasmus in here, and I'll feel better?
Let's try to get Rasmus gone. That'll be something that I want to. Let's try to get Rasmus gone or on a loan somewhere else, and then we can explore this. But yeah, it's too much at this point. But we're also very early. We're very early into.
It's very early. But remember, there's going to be a 2-week break too.
Yeah,
there's going to be a break because there's going to be. When is the break for? Because they got to do this FIFA think there's gonna be a break from the transfer.
Qualifiers.
The transfer window is gonna take a 2-week break or some shit like that.
Club World Cup.
What's Beto saying? Oh, Beto, what's he saying?
They're all tall, strong with some nuts.
What's going on? What are we doing? What kind of
I
show
don't
is
know what
this?
he's saying. I think that's a good time to end the show.
Strikers. I think the type of strikers we need. I think that's what that's for.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Striker
we all
profile.
agree that everything is going good. We like the early signings. We like the early commitments. But one thing we left the whole season, we were like, we need a striker. And that seems like it's still kind of blurred right now. We don't know what's going to come out that. We'd love for Ineos to pull out some magic out the hat. But right now, from all of us, what we know about the transfer market for the strikers, we don't know where it's going to come from. Because we need to sell guys for it to happen. And on that note, I had a good show. Tonight was an excellent show. I had a good time. I loved it. I want to thank Mikey, Ronaldo, Germs, Cheesy, and Brian the Bear Guy for being part of the show tonight. This is a Stateside Reds production. This is Those Casual Reds. Everybody have a good evening. And all I want to say to you, gentlemen, is up the fucking Reds. Peace.
Peace.